Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 12th, 2025, and the quarterfinals of the Champions League are set. We're going to discuss the bracket. I'm going to tell you my predictions, and we're going to, talk about the Champions League. It seems like a good day to do that. Also, Thierry Henry has stated that Raphinha should win the Ballon d'Or. We're going to talk about that as well. And finally, Barcelona risk losing signing Neyser Villarreal, the Colombian gem. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. This is the Barca News live podcast where we discuss Barcelona news and where I also get to interact with you lovely people in the chat section by reading your comments, answering your questions, and getting the discussion going. For those of you who will be watching when the podcast ends, I will be putting timestamps in the description and chapters in the timeline in case you do want to skip through the discussion and just get straight into the news. Having said all that, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. If you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure to hit the Goal Kit, Skip Bag, or Fanatics. If you are looking to place any sports bets, make sure to bet us. All links are down below in the description. You click on them, you get access to some pretty cool deals and offers. And of course, you'll be supporting me and this channel. All right, let's start with the news because, ladies and gentlemen, the Champions League quarterfinals are set. Now, of course, I started this podcast late because I was watching the Real Madrid Atletico Madrid match, the Madrid derby in the round of 16 of the Champions League. It went all the way to penalty kicks, and Madrid won by penalty kicks, and they're through to the quarterfinals. I have to say this: watching these two teams play, and by the way, it was a really good match. There was a lot of back and forth. But watching these two teams play, I'm convinced more than ever that Barcelona is the best team in Spain, and I think they're the best team in Europe because despite being a good match, despite the derby being a good match, I'm just not impressed. I'm not impressed. I mean, Real Madrid has been playing like shit the entire season. That's why they've been crying about referees so much because, of course, when you don't have the balls to admit that you're playing like shit all season, you have to find other excuses. We've established that. But even Atletico Madrid, I mean, which is mind-blowing because, of course, they did tie us 4-4 in the first leg of the semifinals of the Copa del Rey. But it's becoming more evident, and the reason Atletico Madrid were able to score those 4 goals was not merit of Atletico Madrid. It was the merit of Barcelona. It was a self-inflicted wound where the team fell asleep at the beginning of the match, and they conceded 2 goals, and then the team fell asleep at the end of the match, and they conceded 2 more goals. Because, again, just watching these two teams play, there's nothing inspiring, nothing exciting, nothing joyful about watching them play. I don't know. Maybe I just got spoiled and with Hansi Flick, and I got used to watching excellent football that when I watch these two teams, I was just like, the fuck is this? They're just running back and forth like headless chickens. But anyways, for me, Barcelona, the best team in La Liga by far, and I think the best team in Europe, no doubt. I think we have finally a squad and a coach that's able to compete for any competition. Whether we win these competitions or not, different story. But as far as the football is there, and we're able to compete. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Real Madrid match without controversy because it did go all the way to penalties. Julian Alvarez took the second penalty kick for Atletico Madrid. He slips, scores, and then VAR says that he touched the ball with both feet. I don't know. I've seen plenty of images. It doesn't look like he touched the ball with both feet. But are we surprised at this point that there's controversy? Because every single fucking match of Real Madrid, there's always fucking controversy. And by the way, it's pretty ironic because I don't know if you guys remember this, or maybe you didn't see the video. I think it was a live. I think it was Monday's live stream, maybe Monday's video. I don't remember. But I posted this picture, or I shared this picture with you. And it was the referee that had been assigned to Atletico Madrid and Real Madrid match, the Polish guy. And I said, you see something in the picture? Hey, I'll make it bigger. There's this toiletry bag. It has a Real Madrid logo. Remember this? I posted this on one of my videos, and I said, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show you the picture. You guys make your own conclusions. And lo and behold, 2 fucking days later, this shit happens. But guys, hold on. Negreira, guys, Negreira. Don't forget about Negreira, okay? Don't forget about Negreira. Anyways, what's the silver lining of today's derby? They both are exhausted. Let's not forget, Barcelona are going to play against Atletico Madrid this weekend. We have a La Liga match against them. So let's hope this extra halves will play in our favor. I was, in fact, texting with my friends during the match, and I was like, I want this to go to extra halves. My friend was like, no, if it goes extra halves, Madrid is going to win. You know how they are. I was like, I don't care because we're playing Atletico this weekend. And if they go to extra halves, they're going to be exhausted. And they were, by the way, players were dropping left and right, having fatigue and cramps. I'm all for it. And who knows? Maybe Madrid's exhaustion will cause them to drop points. I mean, that would be amazing. Atletico Madrid come, exhausted to Barca's match. Barcelona win, 3 points ahead of them. Well, it would be 4 technically. And then Madrid exhausted. They drop points. Boom. We got first spot secured, right? So I guess that's the silver lining. Either way, I don't care. I think this Barcelona team can defeat anyone. I think this Barcelona team is capable to compete against anyone. So either way, I don't care. I'm not surprised by what happened with the referee. After all, it is Real Madrid, and it's not a Real Madrid match if there's no controversy when it comes to the referees. Now, let's look at the bracket. I don't want to make this a video or a live stream strictly about Real Madrid, but let's look at the bracket because this is how the bracket is currently looking like. I don't know if this is big enough. But Arsenal PSV, of course, Arsenal won. I think it was a 7-1 aggregate before they even head into this match. So it was clear that Arsenal was going to advance. The match ended 2-2, but of course, 9-3 on aggregate. Real Madrid, of course, win on penalties against Atletico. So we have Arsenal versus Real Madrid in the first quarterfinal. The second one, of course, PSG yesterday, shocking everybody, defeating Liverpool on penalties as well. And then they're going to face off against Aston Villa. It was clear that Aston Villa was through. I think it was 3-1 on aggregate before this match started. And now Aston Villa won 3-0. So it's 6-1 on aggregate. So PSG versus Aston Villa in the second quarterfinals. And now we know who our opponent will be. And it's going to be Dortmund because they defeated Lille 2-1, making it 3-2 on aggregate. So we're going to be facing off against Dortmund again. Of course, we faced them in group stages. It was not an easy match. We ended up winning 3-2 thanks to that double by Ferran Torres, by the GOAT Ferran Torres. For GOAT, as I nicknamed him. Of course, that's a joke. Ferran Torres still sucks. He's a great sub, but let's be honest. Bayern Munich, of course, had destroyed Bayer Leverkusen in the first time around, 3-0, now 2-0, so 5-0 on aggregate. They're going to face off against Inter Milan. I think that's going to be a really good match. Inter Milan, of course, defeating Feyenoord 2-1, 4-1 on aggregate. I think we have a really good match, Bayern versus Inter. That's going to be a good match. Arsenal Madrid, I think, is going to be a good match. So we have two good matches next quarterfinals, which they all start in April. I think they have the dates if we go to fixtures and results. Let me see if they have the dates, the exact dates. Yeah, right here. So Tuesday, April 8th, it's Arsenal versus Real Madrid and Bayern Munich versus Inter. Wednesday, April 9th, will be Barca, Dortmund, and PSG, Aston Villa. And of course, the following week, they always switch the days. So if you play on a Wednesday one week, you play on Tuesday the next week. So Barcelona, Dortmund, the second leg on Tuesday, April 15th, Aston Villa, PSG. And then Wednesday, April 16th, it'll be Inter Milan, Bayern, and Real Madrid, Arsenal for the second leg. Now, prediction. What do I think is going to happen in this quarterfinals? PSG, I think they'll get past Aston Villa, so they'll be making it to the semifinals. Arsenal and Madrid. Here's the thing. This is a tough one because do I think Arsenal is a better team than Madrid? 100%. But Do I think that necessarily means they're going to win? No. And that's because Madrid always seem to squeeze by. How? I don't know. But in the Champions League, no matter how horribly they're playing, no matter how much better their opponent is, they always seem to squeeze by. So that's a difficult one for me, but I'm going to go with Arsenal. So Arsenal versus PSG in the first semifinal. Barca Dortmund, I think Barca has what it takes to go through. And then Bayern Inter. This is a difficult one for me, but I feel like Bayern, just the hierarchy, the experience that they have, I think they will be able to defeat Inter. And by a small margin. I'm not, by no means I'm saying, oh, Bayern is going to destroy Inter, because people love to take my words out of context. Oh, Mo said Bayern's going to win 20-0 against Inter. He doesn't know what he's talking about. That's not what I'm saying. I think just because Bayern has a little bit more experienced team, I think they have a little bit of edge over Inter, and I think we'll have a Barca Bayern in the second semifinal. So Arsenal PSG, Barca Bayern. That's my prediction for the semifinals. You guys let me know what your predictions are. And I think that's all. That's all I have to say about this Champions League. A very exciting Champions League so far. I really like the new format. At first, I was skeptical. I was like, there's so many more matches. What? Well, not so many more. 2 more matches. And if you do the playoffs, it ends up being four more matches. But I've liked it. We faced 8 different opponents in the group stages. We faced Benfica, now Dortmund, which we already faced. It would have been nice to have different opponents, maybe at least Lille, so we can have a variety. But 8 opponents so far from all different leagues, all different stature. I think it's been a very exciting Champions League. The group stages, I mean, until the final day, we didn't really have a clear picture of who's going to get through, who's going to be eliminated, who's going to go to the playoffs, besides for a handful of teams. We knew Barca and Liverpool were through, but that's about it. And it's been a very exciting Champions League so far. And I think Barcelona has what it takes. We have the team, the coach, the mentality, the spirit to go all the way. Again, whether we do or not, that's a different story. But as far as our football, what the team is putting out there, I think we have what it takes to go all the way. Anyways, let me know your prediction in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this when it ends. And don't forget, Barcelona Atletico Madrid this weekend. Hopefully, we'll take the victory home and extend our lead. All right, let's see. My chat section had gone blank for a second. All right, there we go. Java the Hut says, I hate that Real Madrid won, but I'm also glad because it means we either have a chance of embarrassing them more this season or have the opportunity to settle the score with PSG. True. I think I told you guys what would be my ideal season. We already beat Madrid in the final of the Spanish Super Cup and became champions. I would love to have Barcelona meet Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final, beat them, become Copa del Rey champions, then have the La Liga race title remain tight until the final weeks of La Liga, and then Barcelona beat Madrid in the second Clásico of La Liga, and that would be enough to make us champions of La Liga, and then face Real Madrid in the Champions League, beat them, and then become Champions League champions. I think that would be amazing. That would be 4 El Clásico matches, 4 victories, 3 finals, 4 trophies at their expense. I think that would be probably the biggest ownage of any done by any team against their better rivals. I think that would be amazing. But we'll see. The road is long. We got to take it one match at a time. Again, I think Barcelona has what it takes to go all the way, but we shouldn't underestimate anyone. Yes, we defeated Dortmund the first time. Doesn't mean that it's going to be a walk in the park. Any team in the Champions League can eliminate you. Any team in the Champions League can cause damage. I mean, our only defeat was at the hands of Monaco. If you would have told me this at the beginning of the season, I wouldn't believe you. I would have said, oh, maybe Bayern, maybe Dortmund at home, maybe, I don't know, Benfica at home. Those made a lot more sense than if you had told me, oh, we're only going to lose to Monaco, So you never know, but I think this team has what it takes. All right, Mike Valencia says, Atleti was robbed. Images surfacing that Julian did not touch the ball. Shameful ref decision. PSG will defeat them in the semis. I mean, might not even get to that. And Arsenal might beat them because Madrid are just a shit team this season. They're getting by just by individual talent, right? They play like shit against every team, and then, Mbappe or Vinny or whoever grabs the ball and just makes a run and scores a goal, and then boom, they win. And of course, with the help of Courtois, who keeps their net clear. But by the way, did you guys see the Ballon de Playa, which that's something that they sing to him in Spain? Ballon de Playa means beach ball, to make fun of him that he didn't win the Ballon d'Or. Did you guys see him miss that penalty kick? It was freaking hilarious. I've never felt more joy than watching Vinicius Jr. miss the penalty kick today against Atletico Madrid. And the funny thing is, the match ended once they won on penalty, and he went up to the stands and started like showing the badge that says 15 champions to the fans and started screaming at them like, "Go, you're going home" in Spanish. And I'm like, this fucking clown, you didn't do shit all game. You missed a penalty that could have given your team a win. And then you have the balls of talking like you were the MVP of the match. Like, I've never hated a player ever, because at the end of the day, they're players. I don't know them personally. It's not like, but when it comes to Vinicius, I hate him personally. Not as a player, but as a person, because he's just a shitty fucking person. Just a shitty person. His antics, his behavior, it's absolutely disgusting the way he behaves, the way he's always running his mouth, the way he's always diving, the way he's always starting fights with opponent players, opposing coaches, opposing fans. I mean, he's just a disgusting person. And I'm glad he didn't win the Ballon d'Or, because winning the Ballon d'Or is not just about your skills. It's also about how you conduct yourself. And I've never seen a shittier player than him as far as, carrying yourself, which is insane because he's incredibly talented. Okay. The whole diving and running your mouth, that's things that players who are not that talented use. Those are tactics that players who are not as talented resort to. Why? Because they have to compensate for their lack of talent. But Vinicius is incredibly talented, one of the best wingers in the world. But he decides to act like a clown. It's like, there's no need for that. Dude, you have enough skills to get by. Why do you need to act like that? And if he didn't act like that, people would probably from all over the world would enjoy watching him, and he could like gain the world's respect and admiration and love, because that's what great players do, right? When you just focus on playing, people are gonna love you no matter what team you're from, because you're giving them a show. At the end of the day, football is entertainment. But because he runs his mouth, because he's such a nasty person, even Real Madrid fans don't like him. Like, there's a lot of Real Madrid fans who hate Vinny. And it's a shame. He's done that to himself. Carlos says, did Alvarez touch the ball twice? Was it enough to overturn it? I don't think so. Very hard to say confidently that he did. Yeah, I don't think so either. And, there's angles that show no touch. There's some angles that show yes, which means it's a doubtful call. And to cancel out a PK, you have to be sure. You cannot just have doubt. Same thing when awarding a penalty kick. You can only award a penalty kick if you're sure that a foul was committed. If there's doubt, you cannot award it, because it's a very extreme punishment. Same thing here. You're canceling out a penalty that was scored. You better be sure. And from the images that I saw images both ways. I saw images that do show 2 touches. Saw images that show no touch or 1 touch. That is not enough for me to overturn a penalty kick. I'm sorry. It's just not. But again, it's Real Madrid. Are you surprised? I'm not fucking surprised. It's not a Real Madrid match if there's no controversy when it comes to refereeing decisions. But at the end of the day, like Flick always says, you can't really blame the refs. I think Atletico Madrid fucked up. They had plenty of chances that they couldn't convert. For fuck's sake, you had 4 halves, 2 45-minute halves and 2 15-minute halves. It's 120 minutes. Like, he had plenty of time. Atletico Madrid had plenty of time to score. Like, if you're going to leave it up to the penalty kicks, then honestly, it's on you if you lose them, because you wasted so many chances, But, that's Atletico Madrid, They're professional chokers. If there was a choke Dior, Atletico Madrid would win it every single season, right? And if there's a best choke coach, it would be Simeone, right? He would win it every season, Choke Dior. Let's make it a thing. Hashtag it. Choke Dior, Atletico Madrid. They deserve it. They always choke. All right, let's get back to the news. I don't want to keep babbling on, but let's get back to the news, because we do have to talk about Coutinho. We talked about him extensively in yesterday's video, all the records that he set, his incredible numbers. And I said, he's a top candidate for the Ballon d'Or, not the Choke d'Or. Remember, Choke d'Or, strictly reserved for Atletico Madrid. Ballon d'Or, I think Coutinho is a top candidate. If he continues performing the way he's performing has performed so far, I think he should easily win it. But I'm not the only one who thinks this, right? Who am I? I'm just a random guy yelling at his camera. There's some heavyweights, people whose opinions actually matter in the world of football, who also think the same. And while it's no other than Titi or Thierry Henry. How you like my friends? Let's go. But Thierry Henry said he's up there. Raphinha is ahead for me now. He scored 11 goals in the Champions League. Mo Salah is a great candidate. Kane is a candidate, and Dembele. Depends. If you do well in the Champions League and also win your league, obviously you'll have a chance. Raphinha is at his best with a lot of goals and only one penalty. That's pretty amazing, by the way, just one penalty. But anyways, it's incredible. But we need to talk a little bit more about him. What Raphinha is doing besides defending in pressure. Because when you are a complete striker, you also have to know how to press, defend, help the fullback, and press well. There are many things to do, and Raphinha does them all. So in other words, Raphinha is not just scoring goals. He's also defending. He's helping with the pressure. He's helping, the fullback, which is Balde usually. So he's doing it all. He's not just putting up numbers as far as goals and assists. He is doing it all. So Thierry Henry believes that Raphinha is a strong candidate for the Ballon d'Or, and I 100% agree with Thierry Henry. After all, it is Thierry Henry. And if Thierry Henry speaks, well, the least you could do is listen. Now, if we look at Coutinho's numbers, they're absolutely amazing numbers because this season he has scored 27 goals and provided 19 assists. 27 goals and 19 assists. That's what? 46 goal involvement? Yeah, 46 goal involvement, 46 goals and assists. That's insane numbers. Now, to compare that to Vinicius Jr.'s numbers from last season, where all Madridistas, according to them, Vinicius Jr. should have won by a landslide. It shouldn't even been close. It should have been Vinicius, and then way at the bottom, whoever. It doesn't matter, right? Because Vinicius put up 25 goals and 11 assists. And according to Madridistas, those are Ballon d'Or winning numbers, period. No debate. 25 goals, 11 assists. Hand him the Ballon d'Or. No need to do the ceremony. Just ship it to him through FedEx because that's it. If you score 25 goals, provide 11 assists, you need to win the Ballon d'Or, right? Well, Raphinha has 27 goals to Vinicius 25. And it's only March. Let's not forget that. It's only March. We still have the rest of March, April, and May. And Coutinho's provided 19 assists to Vinicius' 11. And again, it's only March. We still have, another 10 or 12 La Liga matches. If we make it to the final of the Copa del Rey, that's another 2 matches. If we make it all the way to the final of the Champions League, that's 5 matches. You're talking about potentially 20 more matches for Raphinha. And he's already ahead of Vinicius' numbers. And he plays 20 more matches. So, if Vinicius should have automatically won the Ballon d'Or, everybody go home, don't even bother, because he scored 25 goals and 11 assists. What should happen with Raphinha? Shit. By Madridistas' logic, we shouldn't even wait till October. Hell, we shouldn't even wait for the season to end. Send him the Ballon d'Or right now in March. March 13th. It's already, it's the 13th in Europe. Fuck it. Put the Ballon d'Or in a box. Ship it to Raphinha. Game over. Everybody go home. Right? But anyways, 27 goal and 19 assists. He is the top scorer in the Champions League with 11 goals in 10 matches. 11 goals in 10 matches. And of course, we discussed all the records that he set yesterday against Benfica. He has become the Brazilian with the most goals in a single Champions League campaign, 11, beating Kaká, Neymar, Rivaldo, Firmino, who all had 10 each. He already has 11. And remember, we still have 2 quarterfinal matches. And if we make it all the way to final, 2 semifinals plus the final. So he already has broken the record for a Brazilian with the most goals, and he's only going to keep increasing that because we're still in the Champions League. He's also very close to equalizing Messi's goal record for the most goal contributions in a Champions League season. Messi has 19 goals and assists. Raphinha is at 16 goals and assists, only 3 goal contributions away from matching Messi's all-time record. And again, we still have to play the 2 quarterfinal matches. And if we make it all the way to final, it's 5 more matches. So there's a good chance that Raphinha could end up breaking Messi's record. Messi, guys. And amongst other records, but these are kind of like the strongest ones that make a clear case that Coutinho should be Ballon d'Oriña. No, I don't like that. Balloninha. No. Let's keep it at Coutinho. Anyways, I want to hear what you guys think. Do you think Raphinha should be the top candidate to win the Ballon d'Or next October? Do you have someone else in mind? Maybe Pedri. Remember from my last video, Gabi said Pedri. That's his pick. Maybe Lamine. Or maybe Lamine not yet. Maybe next season. Now, of course, it will also depend on the rest of the team for Raphinha to win the Ballon d'Or. I know it doesn't make sense. It's an individual award. But, usually players who win trophies end up being Ballon d'Or winners. So, of course, if, God forbid, Barcelona don't win anything besides the Spanish Super Cup, it's going to become a lot more difficult to make a case for Raphinha, even though his individual performance merits him winning it. Unfortunately, it's the politics of the game. You also need some trophies to back up your individual numbers, even though it's an individual award. Makes no sense, but whatever. So, of course, Barcelona are going to have to win, more. Hopefully, we can win La Liga and the Champions League. And I think if that happens, there's no doubt that Coutinho will win it by a landslide. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So let me know in the chat section or in the comment section if you're watching this when it ends. All right, let's see. What do you guys are saying? Jose Aguilar says Cholo had a horrible idea of taking it to penalties. He could have sealed the game on multiple occasions while Madrid had bad moments. I agree 100% with you, especially during the second extra half or was it the first extra half? I'm trying to remember. I think it was the second extra half. It looked like Atletico Madrid were just trying to just tie it, like just keep it at what it was. Like they looked like they were scared to win, or actually they looked like they were more scared to lose than they wanted to win. That's what it looked like to me. Like they were playing it so safe, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You cannot just go to penalty kicks because even if you have the best penalty kick takers and the best goalkeeper, it's still a coin toss. You can still easily lose the penalty kicks, even if you have the best penalty kick takers and the best goalkeeper in the world. You can still lose. So why risk it like that? Why leave it up to chance? Because penalty kicks is mostly chance. It's a game of chance. But, again, choke Dior. Always goes to Atletico. And the best choke Dior coach award, Cholo Simeone. Big time. Hara King says, good night, Mo. How's it going? I really wanted Atletico to progress. I didn't get to watch the match yet due to work, but I'll watch the replay. You're not going to miss anything. It was a pretty whatever match. I mean, it was exciting because there was a lot of back and forth. But again, none of these teams inspire anything when I watch them. I'm like, oh my God, look at this show. Oh my God, amazing. It's more like, oh, cool. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, they missed a chance. Oh, cool. Oh, look, Vinicius Jr. is diving again. Cool. Oh, look, Mbappe is picking up some diving tricks from Vinicius Jr. Awesome. Okay. Oh, look, there's a Cholo Simeone screaming at the crowd to hype up the team. Awesome. It's whatever. Carlos says, I don't know if it's like the new format. If it's like the new format, we literally played the same teams on the knockout stages all the way to the final. Group stages were great, though. Yeah, we kind of got a weird side of the bracket where, we could potentially end up playing all the same teams from the knockout stages. That's why I was like saying I want Lille, even though to me I didn't care. Was it Dortmund or Lille? As far as like footballing wise, it was to me my pick was Lille just because I was like I want a different team. That was pretty much it. Not because I think Lille's better than Dortmund or Dortmund is better than Lille. I was just like I just want to see a different team. But yeah, it is weird how we ended up on that side of the bracket where if we advance to the semifinals and we get Bayern, all the knockout stages end up being the same people we played in the group stages, because we already played against Dortmund, we already played against Benfica, and we already played against Bayern. Raja says, Diego Simeone, to anyone here, raise your hand if you saw that Julian touched the ball twice in penalty. Come on, and ready. Nobody raises their hands. Question, I've never seen VAR call. Yeah, very dubious. But again, like I've said a million times, it's not a Real Madrid match if there's no controversy. Richard says, Mo, what are your main reasons why you got Arsenal beating Madrid? I hope you're right, but I don't have faith in Arsenal. Because Madrid don't really play. Madrid is Barcelona from last season. Just nothing. No system of play, no tactics, no football idea, nothing. Just 11 individual players improvising on the field. That was Barcelona last season. And it's Madrid this season. But of course, they have heavyweights like Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrigo, Jude, what's his name, Valverde. They have some heavyweights that can end up winning the matches through individual performances, which again, just like Barcelona last season, or even Barcelona when they won La Liga. So that's why I have Arsenal beating Madrid. But again, that one is a coin toss-up because Madrid could easily win too. They always somehow, some way seem to squeeze by. But we'll see. Carvin says, hi, Mo. I'm Carvin Baragbor from Liberia, watching you. Appreciate your English. Also, time giving good information on Barcelona news. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support and for your comment. And let's see. Alex Narnia says, Mo, Real Madrid are in big trouble. We will demolish them in big time. Bring on Dortmund. We aren't scared of no one. Amen, my friend. That's the attitude. I love it. Isaac says, okay, so I watched the match on CBS. The show TT and Kate is on, and they called FIFA rules analyst for explanation. And apparently the semi-automated software has technology that detects touch points. Oh, interesting. Okay, cool. That's good to know. And Luke says, Alvarez obviously touched the ball twice. I don't know why it's even a discussion. I didn't see it as obvious, but if it is, it is. Again, like I said before, it's like Flick always says, you cannot really be blaming the ref. At the end of the day, Atletico Madrid had 120 minutes to put an end to this. They took it all the way to penalties. They lost. So it's also on them, Like, again, choke Dior, 100%. Edwin K with the donation says, like you said, Barca are the clear best team in Spain. Let's smash Atleti this weekend and put a stamp on it. Amen, my friend. I love the attitude. Thank you for your donation. Very, very generous of you. And yes, I agree. I think it's time to learn from our mistakes. I think the first match against Atletico in La Liga, we were 100% better than them. We dominated that match. We created tons of chances, tons of danger. But unfortunately, the ball didn't just want to go in. And that happens in football, unfortunately. Every now and then that happens. And that loss was strictly bad luck. It was not the team. It was not the tactics. It was not the players. It was just strictly bad luck. Sometimes shit happens. Sometimes no matter how much better you play, things just don't work out. And that was a perfect example of that. Semifinals of the Copa del Rey, that was 100% the team's fault because they fell asleep at the beginning of the match. So Atletico scored 2 goals. They fell asleep at the end of the match. So Atletico scored 2 more goals. So hopefully we learn from that one. And this weekend we can come out fully focused the entire 90 minutes. And honestly, if we play like the way we played when we lost, I think we win. Because that match, you play it 10 times, that same exact match, the one we played in December, and 9 out of 10, Barcelona wins. But we were unlucky that time, and we didn't win. So if we can repeat that performance, I think we would win. Let's just not repeat the performance in the Copa del Rey because that was a self-inflicted wound. We should have not fallen asleep like that at the end, and we should have not started the match asleep either. But I like the attitude, my friend. Let's win it. Let's win it by a big margin because I think Atletico Madrid are, again, a little bit too cocky. We need to remind them that, they might be the Choke Dior winners, but that doesn't give you rights to brag. Nobody wants to brag about winning the Choke Dior. All right, let's do the last bit of news and then we'll do more comments. But let's talk about someone we talked about in the previous video, which is Neyser Villarreal. If you missed that video, or if you forgot already about that video, or if you do a lot of drugs so you have bad memory, let me remind you of Neyser Villarreal. He's a 19-year-old Colombian center forward. He was the golden boot of the South American Championship under 20, which I talked about that in a video. It's pretty much kind of like Copa America, where all the South American teams face each other, but it's under 20 squads. Very important competition because scouts always go to that competition to scout young, up-and-coming South American talent. While he was the golden boot of that competition, he scored 8 goals and provided 4 assists. Pretty impressive for a short tournament, by the way. 8 goals and 4 assists. And now he's at war with his current club, which is Millonarios, a club based out of Bogota, Colombia's capital. And he doesn't want to renew his contract. His contract expires in December at the end of this year, and he wants to leave. And in fact, he's offered himself to Barcelona through an intermediary who called up Barcelona, said, look, there's this guy. He's 19. He's very promising. He's not going to renew. You have a chance to sign one of the most promising young talents in South America for free. For free. Which happens once in a blue moon because usually young up-and-coming South American talents, they cost an arm and a leg. But now Barcelona have not made the final decision yet on whether to try to sign Neyser or not, which to me, I think it's stupid. If he's free, sign him. What are you waiting for? If he flops, if he ends up being another Vitor Roque, who cares? He's free. You'll probably you could sell him to another club for, I don't know, 5 million. You still make a profit, even if he flops. And if he comes and ends up being the next Luis Suarez or something, then shit, you just signed the next Luis Suarez for nothing. It's a win-win. No way around it. But Barcelona have not made the decision yet. And of course, now we have Porto, who are leading the chase to sign Neyser Villarreal. The Portuguese team are making a big push to sign this youngster. Of course, Porto, like Benfica, like Sporting, really good at identifying young talent, signing them for very little, in this case for nothing because they'd be free. And then, of course, selling them for 100+ million euros. So I think Barcelona should stop wasting time. I think Deco should have hopped on a plane the same day they got a phone call from the kids' representatives. And he should have flown to Colombia, signed the player, and brought him back with him. Like, dude, he's free. Well, he will be free. Not yet. In December. Like, what are you waiting for? Just sign him. Again, if he's a flop, who cares? You didn't pay anything for him. If he ends up working out, you just hit the jackpot. You sign the fucking star for nothing. So I don't know what Barcelona's waiting for, but that's the news. Porto are making a huge push for Neyser. Hopefully Barcelona don't fall asleep at the wheel and can make the signing happen. All right, let's see. What is everyone saying? Ben Boadi says, Gotinha is on fire. I wish him the best. Keep up the good work, Mo. Ben watching from Ghana. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for your comment. And yes, he is indeed on fuego. Luke says, well, is it not the foot that slipped was in front of the ball? I don't know. Honestly, like I said, Atletico had 120 minutes. They should have finished it, but it is what it is. The silver lining is both teams played 120 minutes, so Atletico are going to be tired, and we have to face them this weekend. So hopefully that will help us seal our win, and hopefully Real Madrid's exhaustion will aid in them dropping points so we can extend our lead up top. Not the Gamer says, if you end the season right now, top 4 of the Ballon d'Or, 1 Raphinha, 2 Salah, 3 Lamine, 4 Pedri. I would put Pedri ahead of Lamine. Only because, not because I think Pedri is more talented or something. Like I've said before, Raphinha, to me, is the best performing player in the world. Lamine is the most talented player in the world. And Pedri is the best midfielder. But why would I put Pedri ahead of Lamine? Because I think he's the most important player on the squad. His role is just so important that without Pedri, this would be a whole different team. Now, of course, you could say the same thing about Lamine, but being that the midfield is a lot more important for teams in the course of a match, And given what Pedri does as far as setting up plays, leading the attack, setting the tempo of the team, and the way he also contributes to the defense, something that Lamine doesn't, I think Pedri just has a more important role. Or he's been more important player. And that goes for Raphinha too. Again, Raphinha, I think he should win the Ballon d'Or, but I still think Pedri is more important than Raphinha on the squad. I think Pedri has been the most important player for the team. Raphinha has been the best performing player for the team, and Lamine is the most talented player on the team. And then of course there's Kouassi and Inigo, who've been is absolutely phenomenal in the defense. Balde, who's becoming the next Alfonso Davies. Kunde, who's great, but sometimes has spun. I mean, just the whole team is working. And that's what it looks like. That's what a team should look like when you have an elite coach, right? As opposed to previous coaches that we've had. And I won't name names because then people get triggered and they start crying and they go into some nervous breakdown because, oh, you mentioned Xabi, blah. Anyways, Luke says, nah, you have to give Atleti some credit. The amount of passion this team has is incredible, and how much they increased the tempo in the last 30 minutes of the game. I guess. I don't know. I wasn't really impressed. Evgeny says, only scary team in the Champions League right now looks like PSG only because of Mr. Luis Enrique. I mean, I'm guessing you're saying aside from Barcelona. But yes, aside from Barcelona, I think PSG are looking really good. Dembele, after wasting 10 years of his career, is finally reaching his peak, which is crazy. He's a completely different Dembele. And then you have Kvaratskhelia on the other side. I mean, you have some scary wingers at PSG. Not to mention that, what's his name? Vitinha. Vitinha has been just phenomenal in the midfield. And that just goes to show that sometimes having the best players is not it. You need a lot more than just having the best players. A lesson that Madrid learned when they had the Galacticos, and a lesson they're learning now, a lesson that PSG has learned. Because look, they lose Mbappe, and it's their best season yet. Same thing with Neymar, even Messi, right? So sometimes just having the best players per position is not enough. You need players that can play together, and you need a coach that can build that chemistry between the players and instill a system of play where those players can flourish. Ben Boali says, oh, wait, already read that. Sorry. Jose says, I am super proud of the players and huge props to Hansi. Last season, it was nail-biting and honestly trash. This team has an identity and team mentality. 100% agree with you. Again, same exact team. The only difference is Dani Olmo for Gundogan, and Dani Olmo has been injured half of the matches that we played. So you could technically say it's literally the same team because Dani Olmo hasn't even played that much. So, and look at the results. And I'm not even talking about results as far as goals and winning. I'm talking about like just watching them play. Just completely different team. Completely different team. Ajayi says, I just don't like players that stylishly fight their club for exit. Those kind of players end up giving our team problems. Yeah, true. Or sometimes, it just depends on the circumstances, right? Sometimes it's just toxic environment for the player and they need to leave. And then when they leave, they go to another club and it just works out better. It's not always, the case. But Barca for Life says, I think our biggest competition left in UCL is Inter Milan. No. I think the biggest competition for Barca is PSG right now. I wouldn't say Inter. Not to take props away from what Inter are doing. I'm not saying Inter are trash and they're the worst team ever. No. I just think PSG are a bigger threat now. But I still think Barcelona can compete against anyone, regardless. And Richard says it would have been nice for Dembele to make a goal against Liverpool in 2018 when he was with us. Finally decides to score against them via penalty kick yesterday. I remember that match. We were up, was it 3-0? Counter-attack. Messi drives the ball all the way to Liverpool's goal, makes the pass to Dembele. All Dembele has to do is push it in and sends it flying. And I think that goal could have changed the outcome of that match because, were we up 4-0? I think we were up 4-0. That would have made it 5-0. And I think mentally speaking, Liverpool probably would have not came out as strong in the second leg, knowing that they're down 5-0. But people want to say Valverde was a good coach. Valverde was not a good coach. Valverde was a mediocre coach. But he had Messi to carry him. And Setien, Koeman, Xabi, forget about it. Even worse coaches. But I don't know if people got used to mediocrity because Barcelona have been doing so terrible since 2016, or if we became mediocre because our fans were always mediocre. I don't know. But to try to justify performances of coaches like Xabi or like Valverde when they're obviously way below the Barca level, when you defend with all your energy the performance of Raphinha the last 2 seasons, it's just like, do you even want to be a Barca fan? Because if you want mediocrity, just become an Espanyol fan. But if you want Barca to be the great club that it's always been, you have to demand the best. And Xabi, Koeman, Setien, Valverde were not the best. We're not even close to being the best. Rafinha's performance the last season was not the best. But people say I'm a hater, I'm crazy, because I expect the best out of the people that come to Barca. I don't know. You tell me who's crazy. Anyways, that is all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in, for your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, your donations. If you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you do. It really, really, really helps the channel continue to grow. If you haven't subscribed yet, also make sure you do so you don't miss any of my videos. And finally, if you haven't dropped a comment yet, also make sure you do. No more videos for today. There's no more news. Not a lot happened today besides the Champions League. So I will see you guys in tomorrow's videos. So enjoy the rest of your day or night, wherever you are in the world. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, peace, guys.